Kevin Harlan here. The NBA on Prime crew is back, and the quest for the Emirates NBA Cup is center court once again. Group play is over. Now the remaining 8 teams do battle in the knockout rounds, and Prime is your exclusive home for all the action. It all starts with the quarterfinals. 2 consecutive nights of can't-miss NBA doubleheaders this Tuesday and Wednesday night. If you're not a Prime member, sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. The Emirates NBA Cup quarterfinals, Tuesday and Wednesday night, only on Prime.
If you're the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, you know having a trusted partner makes all the difference. That's why, hands down, you count on Grainger for auto reordering. With on-time restocks, your team will have the cut-resistant gloves they need at the start of their shift. And you can end your day knowing they've got safety well in hand. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Elan's Matchup Maximizer podcast, where I, Elan Dubrovsky, take a look at next week's NHL schedule, try to figure out who are the best players we should be streaming in order to maximize our chances of winning our week. We're looking for quantity here. We want games played, but of course from players who are actually going to do something. We're not looking to add players on the off days. Next week, week 10 in Yahoo, December 8th to December 14th, a little bit deceiving. Like, you look at the schedule, you think like, okay, there should be a bunch of streaming options for me here. You got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, all light days, but still some games, 5 games Monday, 4 games Wednesday, a couple games Friday, 6 games Sunday. Then you look at the busy days. So Tuesday, you might be able to actually fit someone in. There's 20 teams playing, borderline. Then Thursday, Saturday are the busy days, 26 teams playing on each of those days. But when you actually look at the teams, there's not that many teams with great schedules. So it might be one of these weeks where maybe you're not focusing so much on maximizing if it's going to be a game here or a game there versus just getting the best player. So it doesn't look like it, but you'll see as I go through here. Like, we've only got 2 teams that are going to give you 4 games on like guaranteed off days. Those are Seattle and Utah. That's like, you'll see there's not that many players from these teams to get super excited about. So if you're not going to grab one of those, then you've got Buffalo, who goes Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. So if you can fit the Tuesday, then you get 3 off-day games, and you get the Monday, Tuesday, which you know I like, and then Thursday you're busy, but then maybe you can fit this. Well, then you'll definitely be able to fit the Sunday if you decide to hold on that long. It's kind of tough to hold from a Tuesday start all the way to Sunday. So I don't know if you're targeting a Buffalo Sabre, unless, again, you can fit the Tuesday, you get the Monday, Tuesday. After that, there's no other teams that are even going to give you 3 off-day games. So then we're looking at teams that give you 2 off-day games max. Not ideal, okay? So you'll decide what you want to do. Let's look at some of these teams that I mentioned. So Seattle, you know Seattle. Like, the fun thing is, like, there's going to be a ton of people available. The bad thing is they kind of all stink. Like, maybe one will do well. It's really hard to predict. The deployment kind of doesn't matter. Like, they run 2 even power plays. The lines... like our top line, top power play center, Matty Beniers. Is he interesting to you? I don't know. He had an assist in the last game versus Edmonton. Before that, he had 1 assist in a span of 6 games. Like, that's Matty Beniers, right? And he's he's one of your top deployed guys. Jordan Eberle had a run earlier in the year. He's been super cold lately. He also got an assist in the last game, for what it's worth. It's been Eberle, Beniers, McCann. Look, if you can get Jared McCann, go for him. He's back from his injury, only 30% rostered, maybe in your shallow leagues. McCann is a slam dunk out of the week if he's available for you at this point going into next week. I'm not saying he's a sure thing hold all season, but 2 points in 3 games since returning. The one guy who has been a full season hold in past years on Seattle. So yeah, get McCann if you can. If you can't get McCann, sure, give me a Beniers, give me an Eberle. Mason Marchment had a run. It's all the same names. Eli Tolvanen, you can go for him. Chandler Stevenson. You want some Chandler Stevenson? I don't know. Do you? I don't. Maybe. He had it. He could be. So yeah, that's Seattle. That's the Seattle crapshoot. Utah, like I'm seeing that Logan Cooley got injured today. By the way, I'm recording this Saturday, December 6th at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So midway through the the nighttime games, so I won't have the late game results for you. So Seattle is playing Detroit tonight. I'm not going to be able to tell you what happened there. Not that it really matters, I don't think. But yeah, so what was I saying? Utah. Oh yeah, so if Cooley's hurt, I'm seeing Dylan Gunther is now playing with Barrett Hayton again for today and Daniil Boot, and then it's been Keller, Schmaltz, and Paterka. So like I just can't recommend Hayton. I'm sorry, and even if he's like top line or whatever, second line and top power play, he's still Barrett Hayton. He won't do anything with it. If you want to grab him, I guess in 4 games there's always the chance he can do something, but it's not an exciting ad. Daniil Boot is a fun prospect that I know people say could be good, and like he's had apparently like pretty good reviews of his 3 games so far in the league. Like, so yeah, I saw a tweet saying he's like stick handling like a pro or something. So, you know, I like a guy in the top 6, but also there's no guarantee he stays. There's no guarantee he even stays up in the bigs. So it's not like a super, you know, it's one of those ads where it could work out, but it's more likely not going to work out. So I don't know if you're really jumping on Daniil Boot. Like I'm saying, compared to like adding someone who plays 1 game less, but is more assured of their spot. You know, like this past week, I went against what I normally do, to be honest. I added Easton Cowan on the Leafs, who didn't even have the best deployment, but I could fit all 3 games, and I saw he was getting top power play and top 6 in Toronto. Figured that's a pretty good spot. He's done nothing so far. Meanwhile, like I passed on a Ryan O'Reilly, who like had this exact same schedule. I would have been able to hit all 3 of his games. He had a goal and an assist in one of the games, and it's like, just go sometimes with the safer guy if you're streaming. It's not as if this is I mean, it's just fun to like have that upside if you'll add a prospect like a Daniil Boot and then he like goes off and then you have like a season hold and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I got him. Compared to like an example like a Ryan O'Reilly where it's like, we know he's not going to be incredible. He's going to be fine. It's like the upside isn't insane, but it's probably still like, yeah. So anyways, I'm starting to think that I just should have like gone with more of the boring choice here. So I guess that would point to a Seattle. But yeah, let's look at some other options. So then we have Buffalo, like I said, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Did I cover Utah enough? I think so. Like, when you're not going to add a bottom 6 guy. I guess Lawson Krause had a couple good games where he scored goals, so he hits a lot. So I think in some leagues, definitely Lawson Krause could be interesting. In Cupful, keeping Carlson Ultimate Patron Fantasy League, where hits aren't worth that much. It's like, he might get you a goal. But again, if it's, you know, if it's even between him and another player, and you get an extra game from Krause, go Krause. But we'll see if we can get excited about someone else. Buffalo. So Josh Norris is back. I have Tage Thompson, and I saw Norris is getting points. It's like, woohoo. I'm going to get in on all these points now. Tage was just missing a center. That's why he was a little cold. Somehow Norris keeps getting points. Tage does nothing. Very frustrating. Zach Benson has been the third on that line, also not doing too much. But still, give me a Zach Benson if he's out there. Or you can look at someone on the top power play. Not Benson lately, actually. It's been Norris, Tage Thompson, Jason Zucker, and Josh Doan along with Darlene. So Zucker and Doan. Like, I like Zucker a lot. I'd say Zucker is probably my stream of the week at this point, assuming you can fit the Tuesday, assuming Jared McCann is not available. I think, yeah, get the Monday, Tuesday. Even if you can't fit the Thursday, you get the Sunday. So you're getting 3 games. You could always drop after the Tuesday also to get more games after that. But I think Zucker's been hot. He's been doing well. He might, you know, he's stuck on that top power play. Even strength is not terrible. Like, he's been playing with Jack Quinn and sometimes like Ryan McLeod. I see that the line switched up a bit in the last game against Winnipeg on Friday. I think there's a good chance that some of these Buffalo guys have been dropped since they only played Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. So maybe people had to drop their Sabres for the weekend. Zucker would be my top that's potentially available, like basically outside of Tage Thompson, Josh Norris, and Rasmus Dahlin. So yeah, you could also go for a goalie, by the way. I know UPL didn't have a great game on Friday against Winnipeg, but in general, he's been pretty good. So if he gets a start on like the Monday or the Tuesday, I could see him getting 2 starts in the week, and we'll see how it goes. I guess I'd prefer to avoid the start against Edmonton, but sometimes these goalies end up doing really well against Edmonton. So I guess that's the roll of the dice here at Fantasy. All right, so those are our 3 teams with the best schedules. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at some other schedules that could potentially be of interest. We'll see. We'll be back in just a sec. Turkey, touchdowns, and takes. It's Thanksgiving and the action doesn't stop at the dinner table. Feast on some winnings this holiday with Pick 6, DraftKings' newest fantasy pick'em game. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. It's that simple. Pick 6 brings you upside those other pick'em sites can't touch. The better you perform, the bigger your payout. And it's available in most states, including Texas, California, Georgia, and more. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN. New DraftKings customers can play just $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. The holidays are here, and that means it's the most wonderful time of the year to save with Rakuten. Rakuten, use them to stack cash back at your favorite stores on top of holiday sales. That's saving on savings. With Rakuten, you can get cash back on gifts for everyone on your list. From toys for the kids to kitchen gear for the person who loves to cook to electronics for everyone. You can even save on something for yourself. Just shop the stores you love and cashback is automatically added to your account. And you can choose to get paid via Interac, e-transfer, PayPal, or check. Join for free today and get a new member bonus after minimum qualifying purchases. Just go to Rakuten.ca, download the app, or install the browser extension. That's Rakuten. Spells Rakuten. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
If you're the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, you know having a trusted partner makes all the difference. That's why, hands down, you count on Grainger for auto reordering. With on-time restocks, your team will have the cut-resistant gloves they need at the start of their shift. And you can end your day knowing they've got safety well in hand. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
All right, we're back on Matchup Maximizer. I am looking at teams that may be interesting to stream from next week. Again, like maybe it could be a week where you just go for someone. Like, I mean, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, where you're full on Thursday, Saturday isn't interesting, of course. But I'm just saying, like, maybe go for quality over quantity in this week. But we'll see if we can find someone interesting. I'm going to tell you the teams that have 2 off-day games, not including the Tuesday this week. We've got 7 teams left that are going to give you guaranteed 2 games, but you're going to want to check and see. If you could fit Tuesday, then you're kind of like pretty open. It's going to be still 2 games, but at least you're getting the Tuesday in there. There's no teams that are going to give you 3 or more that I haven't mentioned already, even including the Tuesday. So there's no one amazing, but I'll tell you these 7 teams that have somewhat interesting schedules in this week. We can start with the Calgary Flames, who go Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So this is kind of a nice situation. You get the Monday, Wednesday, then you move on. It's nice and clean. Currently, Calgary is beating Utah 1-0. So I don't have any more info for you. We're about halfway through, a little past halfway through the game so far. Calgary's goal was scored by Yegor Sharangovich, assisted by Kadri and Joel Farabee. So I guess that gives away what one of the lines have been lately. Sharangovich, man, so he might be available, but I don't think that he's, like, it's been a while since Sharangovich has done anything to get us too excited about, aside from this goal today. Before that, he was pointless in a bunch of games in a row. Farabee, in the meantime, he has, he's pointless in 3, but before that, he was on a decent streak, and he's still playing with Kadri, so it's not a bad spot. So I like Farabee. The other main line is Huberdeau, Frost, and Coronado. So if you can get Huberdeau, go with him first. Coronado, I like him a lot. If you can get him, even though he's gone. He had a stretch where he was taking so many shots. I don't know why he stopped that. Very annoying. He did have a goal and assist, though, on Thursday versus Minnesota, so not too shabby. And then Morgan Frost. Like, I'll take any of the 3, actually. Frost had an assist in that game against Minnesota, had a goal the game before. So I think for a Monday, Wednesday, give me first Huberdeau, then Coronado, then Frost, then Farabee. Okay, get one of those top 6 Flames. The top power play, by the way, has been Kadri Huberdeau, Frost, Coronado, and Rasmus Anderson. So again, like maybe focus on getting the top power play if you can, which again is like Huberdeau, Coronado, Frost. You're not going to get Kadri or Rasmus Anderson. I imagine at this point, Rasmus Anderson, what a streak he's been on. Holy cow. Who expected that going into the year? Meanwhile, I haven't even checked Mackenzie Weegar in a while. What's he up to? He's okay. No, just kidding. Nothing. He has some like fantasy points lately, like some shots and hits and blocks, but yeah, he still hasn't had a point now in his last 4 games. Then you see a goal in the game log, and then before that, again, a bunch of pointless games. So wow, really tough break for anyone who drafted Weegar high this year. I'm not sure what to tell you. I wouldn't drop him just because of the periffs, but man, that sucks, especially him being off the top power play. And not even for Zane Parekh. It was Rasmus Anderson, who was there last year and wasn't a threat at all. So what are you going to do? There's also always our friend Blake Coleman, who is like, yeah, he's 2 games. Yeah, I'll bet you gets you a point, or at least some shots and hits, and like gets you some peripherals to make it worth it. He had an assist against Minnesota on Thursday, along with 4 shots and 3 hits. Today, so far, nothing, just 2 hits and a block. So, he doesn't get power play, or at least not top power play, so it's hard to expect too much from Blake Coleman, but he does have those big games every once in a while. So for a Monday, Wednesday, if you can't get one of the guys I mentioned, maybe even Coleman over Farabee, since you're not getting top power play with either of them. But aside from that, yeah, probably give me Coleman, but take one of those top power play guys first. So that's the Calgary Flames. Next up, we can go to the Chicago Blackhawks. So they go Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So again, with that Buffalo, if you have the room on Tuesday, you can go Monday, Tuesday from Buffalo, switch over to Chicago, get the Wednesday, Friday. That's not too bad. I don't mind that. They're the only other team that plays Wednesday, Friday, aside from Seattle and Utah, of course. So who are we looking at on Chicago? I mean, it depends how deep your league is, of course, but it's been pretty straightforward over there. Like Teravainen, I think, is injured again. He got injured in the last game. So we're basically looking at the lines will probably be something along the lines of Bedard, Burakovsky, and Ryan Green. That's what they've been doing for a while. And then Bertuzzi, Nazar, and someone, maybe like Oliver Moore. So if you can get a Burakovsky, jump on that. Top line, top power play. I assume you can't get Bertuzzi, Nazar, Bedard. I'd definitely jump on one of those if you could. So Burakovsky, rostered in 15% of leagues, becomes like the most interesting of the guys I think you should be able to get. If you can get a defenseman, like if you get Lev Shunov, he hasn't been doing too much, but I still like a top power play defenseman. So he's definitely someone I would take a look at, especially if for Chicago, if you can fit him on the Saturday. If you like don't have a lot of D, that makes him more appealing. Then you're getting the Wednesday, Friday, and then the Saturday as well. And then we're getting into the lower tier of, like I said, the guy playing on the top line has been, Ryan Green. I paused there for a second. I don't even know why I knew it was Ryan Green. He's been rostered by my opponent in a couple this week. So, of course, John's been getting some good results from him. 3 points in his last 4 games. I guess it pays to play with Connor Bedard this season. So I think definitely Ryan Green, after the names I've mentioned. If you're not getting top power play, if you're not getting top 6 with a star, then give me Ryan Green. And then after him, I guess Oliver Moore, who's a very high pedigree guy. And if he's going to be playing with Nazar and Bertuzzi, then yeah, I don't mind that either. Let's see what he's been doing actually. Not too much, but not too little. 3 points in his last 4 games. So getting on a little bit of a run. It's very low ice time. So, not a high expectation. But if you wait until, like Oliver Moore is someone I'm waiting till Wednesday for sure. But then if you can get the Wednesday, Friday, that's not too bad of a chance to take. Burakovsky, I'm jumping on like now, just because I think he'll be gone. Or unless you're getting ready to wake up very early Wednesday morning. If you're in a league where you think he might wait until then. I guess it depends how deep your league is. So yeah, those are the interesting guys over on Chicago. We can go next to the Detroit Red Wings. They go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So likely, you're not fitting the Thursday, Saturday, but I like getting a solid Monday, Wednesday guy. I guess on Detroit, if we look at kind of like who's been hot lately, and by the way, I'm not going to have today's games info because like I said, they're playing at 10 against Seattle. But our main guys have been doing great. Sider's hot. Larkin, DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond, Patrick Kane. You're not going to get any of those guys, though, so I'm sorry. Emmett Finney, our resident Line 1 player, playing with Raymond and Larkin, doing not too bad. 2 assists in his last 3 games. I think that's the best you can expect from him. So just, for a Monday, Wednesday, you don't have to hold on too long and risk him like losing the spot. So I think go for Finney. Ben Sherratt on D for what it's worth. He's up to 23% rostered because he's been getting some points. I'm counting 4 points in his last 7 games, but also like so many blocks, even some shots. So if you want to try to ride that Periffs wave of Ben Sherratt and hope for an assist that may come through, that might be a safer way to play, especially if you can fit. Again, this is the play where like if you have a D opening on Thursday or Saturday, then you're getting like 4 games and you can still drop for someone else on the Sunday. And you're probably going to get like, I don't think you're going to get like 5 fantasy points per game like he's been giving you for the past couple of weeks, but maybe 2.5, 3. That adds up. For 4 games, that's 12. I'll bet you the Seattle person you stream in isn't going to give you 12 points, especially before Sunday, right? If you take just for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the Seattle guy, give me Sherratt in 4 games over whatever Seattle guy that you're able to add, unless it's Jared McCann, like I said. So I think Sherratt isn't the worst option at this point. And that concludes the Detroit Red Wings. I guess like I should mention though, James Van Riemsdyk has scored a goal in each of his last couple games. He did have 4 shots against Columbus in the last game in the 6-5 loss. So I don't know. He's bottom 6. Like I'm not going to expect much, but if JVR is shooting, I mean, come on. Probably not, right? If he's not in the top 6, probably you're not going for JVR. But I had to mention him, right? It's my duty. I probably won't mention him on the Mega Show. If he gets another point today, then I guess I'll have to mention him on the Mega Show. Okay, so we can go to LA. LA's been cold. The power play has been bad. I wonder if they'll change it around again before their next game. But yeah, so LA's schedule is another Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday. So you can go for those 2 games. And then they, by the way, also play today at 9 p.m. So that game hasn't started yet. But yeah, they just lost 2-1 to Chicago. They're playing Chicago again today. So let's see if LA can start scoring some goals. They've scored only 1 goal in the last game, 1 the game before, 2 the game before that. It's been a while since we've been getting some goals out of the Kings. Like I said, they've been kind of changing up their lines a little bit in the last game against Chicago. Looks like it was shifting around all game, so I can't really tell you much. Like Fiala was with Byfield and Armia for a lot of the game. I've seen Kopitar, Kempe, Laferriere, but that wasn't even for the whole game. At some point, Laferriere was with Kuzmenko. I think Kuzmenko was like down on the 4th line. They really hate that guy. So as far as who we're streaming in, unfortunately, yeah, there's no one super hot. Like they have been, so they got Drew Doughty back and they put Drew Doughty on the top power play. We'll see how long that lasts. I guess because Doughty's down to like 45% rostered and that's probably way too high. But for a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, especially if you can fit the Saturday for a D, but at least for the Monday, Wednesday, maybe that's okay. But anyways, okay, let me actually give you some names. Okay, so you're not going to get Kempe, you're not going to get Fiala, you're not going to get Byfield, you're not going to get Kopitar. If you can get Kopitar, he's only rostered 37%. Maybe go for Kopitar, then Doughty, and then sorry, that's probably it, right? Like Joel Armia playing with Fiala and Byfield is a nice spot to be. Like if they're going off, if they're not even like doing well, I don't know if we're jumping on one of them. Brandt Clark got on the top power play for a little bit before Doughty came back. He had a 2-assist game. That's already 4 games ago now. At least we're seeing more minutes from Brandt Clark. So if you could use D, I don't know. Not too exciting, unfortunately, right? Remember when Corey Perry went on that insane run? He did have 5 shots in the last game and 4 shots in the game before that. Maybe Corey Perry's going to score a goal in this Monday or Wednesday. Seems like he's getting close with all these shots. So you could take a shot on a Perry, but we're looking at a 4th liner over there and off the top power play. So, and I'm not going to recommend Kuzmenko, even though I'm seeing he was on the top power play in the last game. So this is where we're at. I think as far as streamers go, if we're looking at less than 20% rostered on Yahoo, we're looking at like a Laferriere or like a Corey Perry. So make of that what you will. That's the LA Kings right now. Unfortunately, Minnesota goes Monday, Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So kind of a tricky one if you're not able to fit the Thursday or Saturday because you're literally adding for a Monday, Sunday, which is a long time to wait for a streamer level guy on the Minnesota Wild. In their last game, which was against Calgary. They're playing tonight, by the way, against Vancouver. Again, this is a late game. Well, let me check, actually, if I can just give you lines from today. I wonder if they have any lines. Let me go to Game Day Tweets. Check out Minnesota here. We do have lines from today. Kaprizov, Yurov. Oh, so Yurov's back from his injury. And Zuccarello. So right away, Yurov becomes interesting as that top-line center again. He hasn't been, like, too incredible up there, but he did have 1 assist in his last game before he got hurt. Then that was his first point in 3 games. We scored a goal in the game before that. So I like someone playing with Kaprizov, right? Again, but if it's just for the Monday and then you're waiting all the way to the Sunday, I don't know if it's worth it, but I just had to mention him. As far as other players who are hot on Minnesota that you might be able to stream in at this point, the list is pretty short It might actually just be Danilo Yurov, to be honest. The next line going into today is Eriksson Ek, Johansson, and Boldy. So yeah, Marcus Johansson did have that great run where he was getting a lot of points, but that's kind of ended at this point. He's now pointless in 4 games. Can he do it again? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I think that was like pretty wild that he held it for that long. And I think that was because there were some players injured. So now that people are back, and there was even a stretch when Tarasenko was doing something when he was on the top power play, or even he wasn't, but like he was at least on the top power play, so it seemed kind of interesting. By the way, Ryan Hartman is back. He's been back for 4 games. I don't even think we mentioned it. And he's been on the 4th. He's playing on the 4th line today. So I think Yurov bumped him and maybe he's stolen his job. We'll see how long that lasts. So I think Yurov is your only interesting Minnesota guy. I don't know if it's worth it. And then we only have one more team left that fits the criteria of 2 off-day games avoiding the Tuesday, and that's Vancouver, which is again like Minnesota. It's a Monday, Thursday, Sunday, so not even the Saturday. I could mention some names on Vancouver just to finish this show off for you if you think that would help you. Quinn Hughes, I know a lot of people are upset about him right now, or maybe they're upset that Vancouver's let him down so badly. A lot of people saying on Twitter anyways that he sort of seems like he's a little checked out, so I don't know. But obviously Quinn Hughes, it's sad that this might be how it ends over in Vancouver for one of their best ever players. Aside from Hughes, Pettersson, I guess, who else? You probably can't stream like a Sherwood at this point. Then there's no one else doing. Like Connor Garland is only 16% rostered. Garland is playing with Besser in today's game, according to practice lines yesterday. I like Connor Garland. He just came back from missing a couple games. He had 3 shots against Utah in the 4-1 loss. In his games before the injury, though, he had a goal versus Anaheim. He had an assist versus San Jose. Then he missed a bunch of games. And there's also a lot of shots in there. So I think I like Connor Garland. And I think I'd be worth maybe grabbing for the Monday. And then you can decide if he's a hold or if you drop after that. Depends how deep your league is, of course. But he's one of the few people on Vancouver who's maybe available and also worth holding longer term. And the top power play in the last game against Utah was DeBrusk, Besser, Pettersson, and Lekaramaki, along with Quinn Hughes. But Lekaramaki, I think, isn't even playing today. So maybe Garland will jump up there. There's also Evander Kane, who was dropped to my Cupful division, and I had no fab left because I had spent it all to get Beckett Seneke, which is like no regrets. But Kane was on a good run here, but then he did get 0 points in his last game. Then he missed a game with an injury. I think he's going to be back today. So if he's out there for you, if he's been dropped also in your league, then maybe worth a shot. I like the shots and hits that he brings a lot of the time. I drafted him, dropped him a little bit too early. I think maybe I wouldn't have dropped him if I held a little bit longer. Maybe he'd still be a roster mainstay for me. So if he's available for you, then maybe go for an Evander Kane. I think those are our interesting Canucks. And that takes us to the end of this week's episode of Matchup Maximizer. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to doing a mega show with Brian in like not too long. Because like I said, it's going to be a 1 p.m. matinee show. Join us if you're a patron. I'm going to prep that actually right now. Once I'm done recording this, I've got my kid asleep and I have my whole night planned to record Matchup Maximizer and then prep for the show, which unfortunately will mean I won't have a lot of notes on the later games for today, so there'll be a lot of check-ins as we record to see how it's going, but I think it's going to be a fun time, so make sure you're subscribed to Keeping Karlsson so that you get that. And then, of course, short shifts, a couple really fun episodes last week. Like I said, Ryan did great in his solo show, then a classic Shams and Jeremy on Thursday, covering all the news from throughout the week. And you'll get everything as long as you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. If you want to support the show, we would appreciate your help becoming a patron. $5 a month gives you everything we could think of, except for ad-free episodes. Got to be $10 a month to get the ad-free episodes. Our super supporters, we appreciate you so much. We also give the super supporters a shout-out at the end of every episode. But okay, enough shilling. See you all tomorrow for the mega show. Bye.
If you're an HVAC technician and a call comes in, Grainger knows that you need a partner that helps you find the right product, fast and hassle-free. And you know that when the first problem of the day is a clanking blower motor, there's no need to break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product details, you're confident you'll soon have everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.